Hello, guys. Welcome to another installment of the NobCast, your favourite Man City and Man United podcast, where we'll also deviate and speak about some other clubs if we feel they are relevant. I know there is an Arsenal fan in the chat, for example, so maybe we'll be touching on that as well. Thank you so much for the response from the previous podcast, by the way. Lots of people said nice things about Gasky. Someone's got to do it, because I'm certainly not going to do it. So if we could have more nice comments... if we could have more nice comments on the video, just to boost Gasky's self-esteem, to make him feel like a big shot, and then ultimately we'll plan to bring him down like we do with everyone who gets too high above their station. That is the long-term plan.
Be quite often on these podcasts with losses.
Indeed. Yes. Well, you were too happy last week, right? And now Ten Hag, reality check. You're back to being shit. So we are going to be discussing, obviously, Man United and City's games. We're talking specifically around the context of Ten Hag. And I don't think it's clickbait to just say, oh, is he in trouble? Not necessarily on this one game, more about the context of the transfer window, as we'll get more into that. I also want Gasky's thoughts on Ugarte, or however I pronounce that. And obviously, we'll be talking about Manchester City as well. The battering of Ipswich. Is Haaland's record at risk from himself? We will be discussing that and more. Get your thoughts in the chat, guys. If anything is particularly entertaining or interesting, I will bring it up to discuss. And there'll also be a NobCast at the end where we answer our supporter questions. Gasky, how are you, mate? How are you? How are you?
Not too bad.
Personally, not because if I ask about your team, I know you're shit, but just like in general.
I'm in a quite relative mood.
You're in a relative mood?
A relative mood. A relatively good mood.
I was going to say, relative mood is meaningless. Relative to what?
A relative, exactly. What I'm relative to. I don't know. No, good mood. I'm in a good mood.
Excellent stuff. Well, let's
bring that down a bit.
Let's see if we can change that straight out the gates by discussing about your club, Manchester United, it's only taken them 2 games in to lose a game. What's going on, Gasky? I mean, no, first of all, actually, I don't... no, actually. Let's sort of reel it in a bit. Let's chill out. You've signed Ugarte. That's confirmed. Am I pronouncing it right, first of all?
I don't have a clue. I think it is.
Excellent. Let's call him that, because why not? It probably is his name. What problems does him coming in solve? And do they solve problems that we saw against Brighton? Do you think that he is an immediate starter in the midfield? What's your take on him as a player, and also thinking about, the long-term future of like a Mainu? Is he going to partner him well, in your view? Is it a good signing? Is it a bad signing? Your thoughts?
I think it's a good signing for ball retention purposes, I think, more than anything. It's too often where it comes to, like, when you look at last season with the amount of shots they concede, every single attack that a team has ends in a shot. And that's an issue with not retaining the ball and then, winning it back and then dealing with play. I think that's to do with Mainu isn't that type of player. Bruno will obviously put the legs in, but he isn't a defensive-minded player. And Casemiro just isn't what he was anymore. So he doesn't have the legs to do it. So, I mean, there was instances in that Brighton game where he would push up and then he just looks like he's chasing someone because he's that slow and he can't keep up. And they just counter and he just goes past him. So having a player with the legs, I think I've seen people describe it as Fred with a bit of a brain, which it does seem like. Because Fred had the legs, but didn't have.
He had the legs, but nothing between his head, is what you're trying to say.
Well, pretty much. And then, but I'm not seeing a lot of him, but he does seem decent. He seems what they need in midfield. A bit of, bit of energy, bit of recklessness. Sounds dangerous, but it's what the midfield need, because you can't have every attack end in front of the back four.
Sure.
You need to win that ball back. So with the way they're playing, because it might seem a bit delusional or not, but I do think they haven't played that badly this season. I don't think they've been poor. I think they've been better than they have been last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think the build-up play is much, much better. And I mean, you look at statistics. I don't like to go off statistics too much, but, I think they're second best team in terms of like expected goals. So they're creating the chances, they're getting there, but then the top on big chances missed. So it's like, you get in there, you're creating the chances, but put it in the bloody net. This is 2 games where they could easily have scored 11 goals and been top of the league, and people were talking about United are back rather than is Ten Hag going to lose his job by Christmas based on the fact that they can't finish. And you look at, I use the City game as an example. They go, we go 1-0 down shockingly, and then they'll just go and bite back straight away. And then the team are like, well, what else are we meant to do now? Which is United need to go in the lead. They need to go 2-0 up, which I can't remember the last time they went 2-0 up. And the team will, deflate a team and then batter them, not struggle. Because I didn't think Brighton were that good. And I thought United were the better team, but they didn't take the chances.
So they were just gonna say, so Ugarte coming in.
Yeah.
So you think he solved some problems that United have? From my perspective, again, what I know is that Ten Hag leaves a lot of gaps in the midfield, which is an issue in itself. But if you are going to mitigate that, at least bring in a midfielder who can help facilitate that. So is he an immediate starter? So, for example, was your midfield immediately, let's say everyone's fit, day one, what's United's midfield? Is it Mainu, Ugarte, Bruno?
For me, yes. I think that needs to be it. I think they need to get past Casemiro being in that team, because he bringing him on potentially to kind of, if you're being backpedaled to sit there, fine, but you can't start him, because as soon as he's on the pitch from the minute one, as soon as you get past the 60th minute, teams go around him because he's just out of it, and it's playing with 10 men because he's just not there.
Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable. I think what I would also say is that based on the Brighton game, the midfield I know you say you created chances. Absolutely, basically everything seemed to stem from out wide. There was no central thrust or creativity as far as I could see.
No.
In fact, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think he started with the same lineup twice now, where he's playing Mount as that false nine. I think just for the press from the front, which is fine, but Mount doesn't offer that connection, similar to Liverpool when Firmino playing at that central position where the wingers are doing the work. And that's what obviously playing with a false nine is. But Mount just isn't that creative spark to play there. I think he's done well in terms of, pressing from the front, and it helped with winning the ball back. But he doesn't suit that position. I think he's much more a squad player. I think he's much more swap with Mainu when we need more legs in midfield. I think that's kind of more him, or even for Bruno to rest him.
Yeah.
I think what I do want to see Xerxes start with the wingers. I want to see him have more time to impact a game, because he found that space against Fulham, and he's finding it constantly. That's what we need if they want the wingers to do well. So yeah, I think that's also an issue. But I don't know if it's just Ten Hag, experimenting, seeing what you can get out of them. So, again, second game of the season, so I'm not going to overthink too much. So,
of course, I've got a question for you, Gaskin.
Yeah.
I want to extend, actually, before you answer, I want to throw it to the chat, and then you can have a think about it, and I want to throw it to everyone in the chat. If you're watching, first of all, hi. Leave a like on the video if you're enjoying it. Even if you're not enjoying it, I don't care. Leave a like on the video. Quiz question, trivia question. In Manchester United versus Brighton, which Manchester United player do you think completed the most successful progressive passes? Which Manchester United player completed the most progressive passes? Or rather, who collectively progressed the ball up the pitch the most from passing? Let me know your thoughts on that. I think you'll be surprised by the answer. I want everyone in the chat to get involved, or anyone who's got fingers anyway. If you don't have fingers, I don't know, easy toes or something. It's an interesting question. If you see in the graph, don't take part, because that's cheating. Yeah, if you actually know the answer, I don't want you to take part.
I haven't seen said graph, just so you know.
There you go. And then I'll be throwing it to Gasky afterwards. And the Brighton game, he says bloody Roy Keane. Don't give me that shit, Toby. But yeah. So Ugarte coming in. Could he be the guy to improve Manchester United midfield? Maybe. I know there's been a lot of discourse about basically getting the right partner for Mainu, because he seems to be your main guy.
But, that's the thing. I think what it makes me laugh with, because most of the time you have to go off football Twitter or go off the social media in terms of a lot of fans' reactions, and I think a lot of them forget that they can't just fix things overnight. We know with the Glazers system, it was just buying players for the sake of buying them, or just being absolutely useless with it. But now they've managed to get 100 million worth of players out of the door and off wages, which I think is incredible for one summer. Do you know? I mean, a lot of people will happily slag off McTominay, and as soon as you see that he's leaving, they're not happy about it. You can't win Premier Leagues. You can't win Premier Leagues and Champions League stuff with players like McTominay. They're not good enough. They're good players. Some of the players that they bring in might not be end product. They might not be the long-term solution. But if it's a solution to get them into a position like Arsenal and Liverpool, where they are, statistically in there constantly, when you think about the start of the season, well, because, for example, the start of this season, you thought City and Arsenal are not, they're 1 and 2 probably. 3, who's going to finish 3rd and 4th? You want that kind of attitude of, they're going to finish top 4 then. That's what you've got to start with, and they've got buyback clauses in all these players and sell-on clauses, and it's the right thing to do, I think. So, in the current, I think the current climate is the signing this Ugarte is going to, I think it's going to be good. It's going to have that energy to go next to Mainu because, let's be fair, Mainu isn't quick. He's not going to cover a lot of ground. Bruno will cover a lot of ground, but Casemiro won't. So it's like he's recovering ground for 3 players.
You also want Bruno higher up the pitch for counter-attacks anyway.
Exactly, and he ends up that far back. What's the point? So having a player like Ugarte who can sit with that back 4, so when Martinez clearly wants to come flying out to win the ball, he's going to slot in because I don't mind Martinez doing that, but it's worrying when he does it and it's a big hole and Casemiro's not going to fill it. So I think he's promising. I think they're building something and they're playing better. They're creating a lot more. Just obviously need to iron out this final third because there's 2 games in now where they could be 2-0 at half time and the game could be over. That's the position we need to get into with these fixtures. So
indeed. So we've had some answers in the chat. Ari, my question of who's been the best. Gasking, I'm going to need an answer from you.
It's going to be someone odd.
Right.
So
okay. Yeah. So we've got the answer we've got Diego Dallo, Onana, Maguire, not Diallo, says Herbal. Who was it, Gasky?
I think it's gonna be one of the fullbacks or the goalie.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with the goalie.
And you are absolutely correct. It was Onana. He was your most progressive passer.
Which is concerning considering every pass is going to be progressive from him, pretty much.
Yeah, and also it's
9
like
times out of 10.
I mean, it's great to have a goalkeeper who can do that, obviously, but you don't want to really be relying on your goalkeeper to be doing that. Realistically, you want to be like an outfield player, preferably a midfielder, to be doing that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and that's what I mean about bringing in a midfielder. Can that unlock the midfield? Can that spark some creativity in the middle? But Ten Hag's job is in trouble across this season. Definitely, this is, in my opinion, this is a make or break season, isn't it? Like
he has to get this team comfortably playing how he wants, and they're not going to win every game. I think people need to chill out. They're not, no one wins every game. There's going to be results like the Brighton result where you think, for God's sake, they should be winning this game, or things like that. They're going to happen, but we need to see games like when you're playing, no offense to Ipswich and teams like that, where you do need to go and win 3-0 and look good. They're the games you need to win. You can't just go, we just scrape like a Fulham game where it's a 1-0 again. We could have lost, but thankfully we won. We can't have that all season. They need to have a period where they're comfortably winning games and the confidence is there.
Absolutely. Staffy says United versus Fulham would be the highlight of the season. That's very cheeky. Nitin says United is now a team that can easily finish at the top 4, improve massively in defense. And I think someone else in the chat, Gassy, just wanted your thoughts on where United finished, because last season you were quite bullish last week on the podcast.
No, I still stick with it. So I'm not. One loss isn't going to change my mind. I do think they'll finish top 4. I think they've got a squad of players now where you don't have to worry about the 11 struggling. These players to come on. It's not perfect, but it's much better. If Mainu's looking leggy, Mount's on the bench, for example. These a lot of players that can play and can swap. Even defenders, they've got 3 centre backs now and a Maguire, so it's not too bad.
Of course,
to be in. It's a good position to be in. So
still
long term, I do think 4th
this season. 4th,
yes, 4th.
Okay, and I can't remember if I asked you this last week. Does Ten Hag last the season?
If they finish 4th, yeah.
No, but they might be like 10th in December, get sacked, new manager comes in, get 4th.
Oh right, okay.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say 4th if that happens.
No, well, I'm going to rephrase the question. Does Ten Hag achieve 4th place with Man United this season?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't think Ten Hag's getting sacked then?
No, because for 2 reasons. One, I don't know who the hell you would bring in to start with.
Is Van Nistelrooy, is he not right there?
If anyone.
Rude?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he'd take over, but would it be another situation like the Ollie situation where he does well and it's like, oh, quick, throw a 5-year contract at him and then he's shit? You don't know, do you? But of course you would.
Toby Hughes.
No, I think top 4.
Top 4. No, that's fair enough. Toby Hughes is a big supporter of the channel. A shout out to Toby. If anyone does want to support the channel, by the way, you can become a member. It should now activate the printer. If it doesn't, I'll be incredibly upset, but it really should. So yeah, thank you guys for helping support the channel as always. And Toby says, do United fans even like Ten Hag? I'm obviously a rival fan. Toby's an Arsenal fan, in case you didn't know, Gasky. I find to be one of the most unlikable people I've ever seen manage in the league. I think that Toby's got a very good point there, because even putting aside the whole Greenwood situation, which I don't really want to get into on today's show because we've discussed it at length, obviously. Ten Hag strikes me as a very arrogant man who doesn't really deserve to be speaking with the level of arrogance, to be honest.
It's very odd. It's weird, isn't it? It's like I don't even know if it's a thing, but like passive arrogance. It's like, Mourinho I would just happily say I'm arrogant and full of himself. Whereas he's more like, he'll leave excuses, but he'll make it sound good. It's like, it's not an excuse. It's more of a tactical observation. Well, no, you're making an excuse, and that's what it comes across like. And it's, it's very passive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. People clock onto it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like he does, like, people obviously like he's rubbish and whatnot, but I think he knows what he's doing. He knows how he wants them to play, and he's getting them to play that style. I feel like he needs to be a bit more, I don't know what the word is, like abrupt with it. Like they need to, if a player's not playing well, just get rid of him. It's like Rashford's offered nothing in 2 weeks. Play someone else there.
No, it only took around 20 minutes for Gasky to start the Rashford hate train. Guys, we had a timer every single stream. Train.
I'd say the same about other players.
Yeah, sure.
I thought Ahmad was crap, and he scored. If Rashford can be crap and score, I won't care.
Sure. I don't like about Ten Hag, his bald head. It's not a good bald head. It's got a weird little indent, and it curves up on the side. I don't like it. Pep has got a lovely, nice round sphere. Ten Hag's got an evil little. I don't like it. I think
I'd have a nice bald head.
What's that?
I think I have a nice bald head when I shave my head.
I've never seen you bald, mate.
No, but when I do you think I would have a nice bald head?
Turn to the side, please, so I can see your profile. Yeah. Chat, what do you reckon? Gasky,
thanks for that. Thanks for the confidence.
Gasky, good bald head, yes or no? And my instinct says yes.
Thanks for the confidence. We'll find out in maybe a year or time.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to say from a beyond beliefs point here. With the money they spent, they need to be challenged for the title. This is what I mean, but I don't think challenge for the title. I think it's too harsh, too far. But I think we maybe touched on it last week. He has now bought a team. This is Ten Hag's team. He's bought a keeper. He's bought 2 fullbacks. He's bought however many centre backs. He's bought an entire midfield. He's bought at least 3 forwards as well. This is the excuses of he's still building similar. This is the Ten Hag team now. I'm not particularly interested in now this is pre-Ineos to post-Ineos. I'm talking about the Ten Hag factor on his own. This is now his team. In my opinion, it's put up or shut up. Do you concur?
No, I agree. Yeah. I don't agree with when people say about if you spend that much money, you should be challenging for titles, because it depends on the situation. Like, you look at Brighton have spent an absolute fortune. So who's to say that they should be challenging for Champions League football?
Yeah,
it's the same argument.
The title is crazy, but
no. But from a Ten Hag perspective, he is literally now a team of players that you wanted, right?
Yes.
I don't think if Ten Hag wasn't in charge, they wouldn't sign half of them players, because they're players that he's managed before.
Mm-hmm.
So if other managers would never have picked these players, so it's down to him. Now, you need to get these players playing how you want to play them. Simple as that. And if they don't produce, you're gone. Simple as that. And I think that's how Ineos have probably told him.
And that would be reasonable, to be honest, because
And it's fair. No, it's fair. It's fair. Like they've given him the funds. They've got players out. They've got players out the door. They brought players in. I even read rumors that he'd rather have McTominay over Ugarte, and it's a club signing. I don't know what to believe in that, but I think that's also something that Ineos probably have to look at. It's like you can't go and still throw money at these signings where a manager might not want next. So if potentially, yeah, I think it's down to him. It's not. I don't think money is any of the reason. I think it's more of he's got that team now. It's his team. Simple as that.
Who's United's next game? Who do you play next? It's at Old Trafford.
Liverpool.
Oh.
So it's going to be deja vu where they're going to be really good against Liverpool and everyone's going to be like, ooh.
Oh my.
They'll beat Liverpool because it's just written in the stars. It's just what happens.
Sorry, you'll beat Liverpool, will you?
Yeah. They'll beat Liverpool, and because it's the script, isn't it? The script of football. They'll beat Liverpool.
It's the Sky Sports script.
They'll be absolutely amazing. They'll beat Liverpool, and everyone will then be absolutely buzzing and won't be, let's just calm down. And everyone will go mental at how good they're going to be. You know what'll happen.
Are you going to deserve to beat Liverpool?
Based on the performances this season, I would probably say if they do beat them, it'll be deserved.
Okay, I back that, guys. Let's clip that in our brains this time next week.
In before 4-0 loss.
Exactly. This time next week, Gasky has just said live on stream that not only are they going to beat Liverpool, they are going to deserve. It's not going to be a fluky victory. They're going to deserve to beat them, which absolutely could happen. But we are going to hold this man to that.
Never know.
Yes, do not let me forget that, chat.
Bear in mind,
the qualifiers.
Let's be fair. It is still a guessing question. I'm just guessing, really.
But there's a difference between saying we'll win and we will deserve to win.
I'm using the script of the last couple of seasons where they've been rubbish and they've gone and got a
Liverpool have looked good this season, Gasky. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they have. Yes, I know.
No,
they're not unbeatable though.
No, true. And Teabu, as a United fan, says I back it as well. Fair play. Guess score predictions in, guys. What's going to be the score? Do you know the official? Because you know how in this is a bit of a side tangent. You know how there is in terms of the quote biggest fixture in a league. They like to have like a branding name. So there's El Clasico. There's De Classica. Yeah. There's is it La Classique in France or something? I can't recall what
Marseille PSG.
Yeah, I can't recall what the Portuguese one is. Obviously Liverpool. Sorry, obviously Liverpool Man United is seen as.
You're gonna give me a really shit name.
Yeah. Do you know what it's called?
Is there actually a name for it?
Well, it has
is it something like Merseyside and Lancashire?
It has it's got like an official Wikipedia page. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's so shit and boring.
Is it an eye roll?
No, it's just so these names sound cool, like De Classica. It's nothing to do with that. Should I say what it is?
Go on.
The Northwest Derby.
Is that genuinely
because that's what it says on Wikipedia?
Anyway. Well, you won't even call it the Northwest Derby. You just call it Manchester United. Liverpool is a big fixture.
No, that's what I mean. But they are so desperate to give it some sort of encompassing name, and it's like.
I mean, try it.
They should call it like the fucking the Red Team Derby at that point. You know what I mean? Lock in the peep show on that.
Sounds like something Pez would call it.
Yeah. Manchester Red versus Anfield.
Mersey Red. I think it was Mersey Red. I think they were called.
Mersey Red. Easy score prediction. Now, Timmy says, feeling a 2-2 draw at Anfield. 0-0 Stinkfest says, beyond belief.
Well, thankfully, it's not at Anfield.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Jack says, 4-1 United. Mazraoui hat-trick of headers. Big up. I think
2-1. I think 2-1.
I was just going to say, just because we're speaking on new signings, that Mazraoui, I think, has looked really
good.
He's
been very good.
Yeah.
He's a fullback that can do everything rather than, a fullback that's good at one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good to see. It's nice to see.
I liked him. I thought he had a really good World Cup as well. When I was scouting a potential fullback for City, I considered Mazraoui. I thought he looked really good. Yes, so that's nice. It really will be interesting to see Ugarte, see how he blends in with that midfield.
Definitely.
Anything else that you wanted to touch on with Manchester United, Gasky?
I think my only concern, obviously, I think the transfer window will be shut before the time we have a next podcast, won't it?
Yes.
So I think my concern is they're not going to get a left back. And that's my only concern. You've got 2 crippled left backs there and you're playing Dalot there, a right-footed player.
Yeah.
That's my only concern.
To be fair, Dalot, brilliant left-footed cross, to Ahmad. So he's got a very strong
Yeah,
left foot.
it's not bad, but then it's like
he can do a job. It's
look
not ideal.
Look at how good, but look at how good Mazraoui's been at right back. You could do the same on the other side, potentially. So
yeah. Like I feel like you've got to move past Luke Shaw at this point. This guy's not.
No, exactly. If you can somehow keep him fit for most of the season, great. But he's not. After that, you have to be like, look, be a sub or go.
Yeah, like when was the last time he had a great injury-free season? Because
believe it or not, believe it or not, right? Which is a crazy start. He has played more fixtures or played more, I think, Premier League games than John Stones in the last 5 years. I think it is.
To be fair, Stones has also had his injury issues. In fairness,
that's what I mean. Like you think about how bad Luke Shaw's injuries have been, but then you think like, I think that was just one that came up, and I was like, that's crazy to think that he's played that many.
Yeah.
More than anything.
I guess what I also would say, in addition to that, is that obviously City have like 4 or 5 great centre backs or have that time.
Miss them.
Whereas Luke Shaw is like, no, you are left back FC, Luke Shaw.
Well, that's the issue at most clubs. Though, is like you have 2, don't you? So it's like your backup's never as
Whereas
good as
Malacia doesn't exist. Luke Shaw's knees.
What's going on with him?
Yeah, Luke Shaw's knees.
No injury's been reported.
Maybe he's been abducted or something.
No, he's been seen with a new kit on.
Yeah, but,
has he?
In a world of AI, Gasky.
I was about to say then, AI, in an AI world, they've created a clone.
Exactly. Yeah. Guys, get the likes up, please. There's around 100 of you watching. We need to get up to at least 75 likes. The more likes, the more viewers, the more conversations, the more people who can insult Gasky on my behalf. Because, you know, I'm cosplaying as his friend, so I can't go in too deep on him.
You really try and get people to insult me, and they don't tend to do it.
A shooter's going to shoot, Gasky.
Yeah, you're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Me.
No, I'm the shooter. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Yeah. So if I don't shoot these shots, give up by now. then it ain't ever getting the back of the net. Yeah. So. Anyway, so Manchester City, Gasky. Now, this is actually your suggestion to have like the City bit of this show. Haaland's record at risk. By Haaland himself, I'm assuming you're talking about.
Definitely.
Indeed. Were you able to catch the Ipswich game or elements of it at least?
I saw. It was 3:00 ago, wasn't it? So I watched
it. Yes, indeed. So legally, you couldn't watch it.
No, I don't do illegal things. Come on.
But yeah, so let's touch on Man City for the rest of this podcast, and then we'll go on to viewer supporter questions. This is something that I discussed in my analysis video, Gasky. As a rival fan, would you say it's someone who's watched City for the past 2 years, knowing what Haaland was at Dortmund? First question, where I really just want a yes or no question, would you say it's fair to say that Haaland wasn't being utilised to his full effect by City?
Based on how you watch him in Dortmund, I do think so, because let's be fair, most of the goals we saw when he played for Dortmund were counter-attack, and he was charging at the defence.
Yes.
And at City, that is not how you play. You sit in the box and you put the ball in the net. And I think that was why a lot of people were saying Kane over Haaland at the time. Because Kane will drop deep and offer more, and he would sit in the box and put the ball in the net. But finding the learning as they go on, they're finding him, they're putting him on the front foot. Don't play it to his feet, you play it in front of him and let him go and chase it down. Look, the goal against Chelsea, for example, Flo Cucurella, because the ball was ahead of him and he moved with the ball.
Yeah, that was so satisfying.
Like the keeper, it's a beautiful goal. And then even now, he's just, he's going to be there. You just got to put the ball in that gap, in that area. Job's a good one. That's why I think the record could be in jeopardy, because you look at how good, how good Doku can be. Savio's a heck of a player. I didn't realize how good he was. It's difficult to tell when you're playing for a team that's overachieved like Girona. You just don't know. But he's a heck of a player. And with someone like that who's clearly going to feed a striker, because I think it was Dovbyk at Girona, wasn't it? He got top goal scorer. So he was feeding him, and he's feeding a very similar build of player. It's a very similar type of striker, and it's just like playing for a better team, really. So
indeed,
it could be scary.
So so exactly. So I think you've just answered my question there by saying, the answer is no, that City were never really playing to his strengths. Now, it's only a game or two, and of course, it was only Ipswich, whatever.
Hmm.
But if City do persist with this system, let's say, for argument's sake, let's say it works. As a rival fan, how terrifying is the concept of the fact that Haaland, who wasn't being utilised properly, still broke the Premier League record for goals scored in a season with 36, and now and again, that was when he was not being used properly or to his full effect, and now he arguably, based on these couple of games, is being used correctly. I mean, terrified? Question mark. On what numbers are we talking about here potentially?
Yeah. With how he's played and how they are playing, and like you say, utilizing him, he could clear 40 in the league. You know, and that's just based on obviously you take things like fitness into account and whatnot.
Yeah. Assuming no major injuries or setbacks.
Assuming no major injuries and he don't play in the cups and things like that, you're looking at and the way Savio's played, you know, and if De Bruyne is at the top of his form, there's no reason why he can't get 40. And what would that put him like 140 goals for City in 3 years? Or something like that. Or league goals, I think, or something. I don't know.
He's currently on 60-something.
What's he on? Is he in the 90s now for
what, in all comps?
I think he's in the 90s. I think he's in the 90s in all comps now already.
I will fact check this, but he's very close to being at better than a goal a game, I'm pretty sure, for City. Let's double check that point. So he's 101 appearances, 94 goals in all, and that's in all competitions. That's including Champions League, Community Shield.
If he stays fit and if they do play him nearly every game, he's going to get close to 150 in total.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to, based on obviously like based on 2 games, but there's no reason why not. He's
if City keep playing to his strengths anyway, absolutely,
exactly, yeah.
And I want to ask you this because I've said before that, and I need your views on this as a United fan. Don't worry, Staffy, I did see your WhatsApp. I'll get back to you later, mate. Don't you worry about that. I've said this before that, you know, Kevin De Bruyne is obviously getting older, slower, less physical, but saying that, he's still capable of bursting through on the counter-attack, and he's still a strong player. So I'm not saying that he's, you know, done for physically, but obviously he's not the physical specimen he was 4 years ago, especially after all the injuries, etc. Yeah. And I've said that, you know, when that day inevitably comes where De Bruyne can't do that anymore, and I think you'll appreciate this as a United fan, someone who watched the evolution of Scholes, are you surprised at all that De Bruyne has now added this string to his bow where he's now doing what Scholes did, where Scholes was a much more dynamic box-to-box player in his earlier career, and then from like 2007, 8-ish onwards, he became that more deep-line player. That's exactly what De Bruyne is doing. Can he do that long-term? Does his skill set? Are you surprised he's been able to do it that well so far?
No, that's how good of a player he is. You know, I think that's going to be his long-term position at City now. And I think City it's probably the next big signing they make should be that number 10, potentially. Because I don't think Bernardo Silva's good enough. And I don't think there's any, or maybe, he got Foden, to be fair. Forgot about him. But yeah, so Foden's probably going to, you know, play that position. So to utilize both of them and of how good De Bruyne is on the ball, playing in that deep line position like Scholes did and just dictating the play basically, and then you don't have to be involved. Everyone else, you know, as good as you know Savio, Doku, and Foden are, and how young they are, they'll just feed Haaland.
They can do the running for him.
But he has to do, and he just has to mop up. Well, Rodri collects it, he mops up, and then gives it to De Bruyne and go and connect the dots. Basically,
Yeah, I'm very happy that so far that this system is getting the most out of De Bruyne and by extension the most out of Haaland. Like you saw it with, I think it was the third goal where, you know, De Bruyne picks up on the left side and immediately he's got runners. It's Haaland, it's Doku, it's Savio, it's even Bernardo Silva who is making like that forward run from deep. So there's clearly, it's clearly more than just bringing in instinctive runners who want to stretch the game. There's also a directive there, isn't there? An instruction.
It's knowing who's got the ball as well. As soon as when a player like De Bruyne picks the ball up, you know he's going to find you. So you can make those run. You know, some teams will be like, "I'm not making that run because he'll never make that pass." Players will make them runs. They'll be like, "Right, I'm running past his defender because De Bruyne will literally put it into that little tiny gap for me to run onto." And that's what's more concerning because then defenders won't bother tracking the run as much. It's like, oh, he'll never make that pass. And they will. So.
No, yeah. We've got Liam Byrne in the chat, another supporter of the channel. Just an FYI, Liam Gasky says not only are United going to beat Liverpool, they're going to deserve to win. So just thought you'd like to know that. Yeah, I didn't even think about this. Last season he was like Haaland was struggling with like some injuries at times. Like he still won the Golden Boot and he still scored like 20 odd goals in the league, but he underperformed on his expected goals. There clearly wasn't something right there. So again, maybe he's had this summer off and now he's
glaring misses. Yeah, there was glaring misses, weren't there?
Exactly. Yeah. So the hope from a City perspective is he's got past that injury. I think there was even some suspicion that I don't know how much I buy into this, but there are some analysts on Twitter who suggested that Haaland went through a growth spurt from his time at Dortmund to City. Like he grew an inch or half an inch or something, and they were saying how even growing slightly can apparently put you off physically because where you would shift your body weight, etc., it's obviously changed. I don't know how much I buy into that, but that was something that was said as well. So you could also argue he's got used to that new height or whatever. I don't know if that's a thing. And I totally agree with Herbal here, who says the system suits Haaland a lot better when he's so fit. Kevin looks fit as well. Gundo is back. Erling got everything he needs to break records this season, his own records.
It's like he's never left Gundogan, isn't it? There was an instance, weren't they, where he was just leaving the ball, knowing exactly where Haaland would be. He was just like, he's just never left.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about Gundogan is that I think we mentioned this last week is that you don't. It's very complicated to learn City's and Pep's philosophy and system, etc. Especially for a midfielder. I feel like, especially a midfielder in the ilk of that box to box play, that link of that metronomic player. But obviously, there is no adaptation period for Gundogan, who...
Oh, no, he just do it again,
Yeah,
he knows
funnily enough, knows a thing or two about playing Pep's football. He was only away for a year anyway. And it's also not like he went to a club who play a totally opposite way of... an opposite philosophy.
Same way,
went to Barca. Yeah, so it's...
exactly.
It's the perfect...
Birth of it.
Yeah, he's a win now player. That's what we love.
Yeah.
That's what we love to see. And Haaland, just like, I know we're talking about him as a footballer, but as a person, he just seems to be really sound as well, Haaland. So it's nice when that is a thing. Proper shell seller mate says that when's 115 due? I have no idea, sir. I think the hearing is later this year, in a month or so, and then we shall see what we see. Gasky, do City need that backup striker? Because the window is coming to a close. I'm personally of the view it's not essential. I wouldn't hate it, but what do you think? Is it essential, or can City get away with it?
I think it's a nice to have. Like, I think if they brought someone in, even if it's a loan, just it'd be like, oh great, you call Haaland can rest. Otherwise, I think it's like you say, it's a change of system if Haaland's injured or if he needs a rest. But he stays fit. He plays every minute, doesn't he? It says he's yeah.
This is what I mean.
He's not going to rest
because people have said to me, well, Nobbins, what if Haaland gets a massive injury? And to that, I'd say, well, what if this backup striker breaks his leg and does his ACL on the other leg and he's out for the season? I don't know how helpful it is to play what if games.
When you've got the best striker in the world, no one's replacing him, so it doesn't make a difference who your sub striker is. You might as well play someone. You might as well dump Gundogan up there who knows the system than someone who's barely going to play in it.
Brilliantly.
I guess that's the argument. Exactly. Do you want a striker? Do you want a profile of a striker who doesn't know the system, or just dump someone who knows the system up front and leave it? That's probably your best bet.
Yeah, and even if they do, whoever City get, because it's obviously not going to be an elite level player, the gap between them and Haaland's going to be ridiculous in any event. So I've personally never seen the value of buying a backup striker. So I don't really care if we don't. I know lots of people really want it to happen. I don't necessarily think it's essential. And I think City can get away with it, to be honest.
People just like a safety net, don't they, as well?
Yeah. Just on strikers, I know this is a City United podcast, but I just need to ask you about this because did you see the weird rumours in like the Arsenal football world last night on Twitter? Did you see that?
I see quite a few rumours, but enlighten me.
There is because they've been linked to a forward player, Right.
Yes.
A more versatile forward player. No one say it in the chat, because Gasky, of any forward player who you think it could be, and by the way, people are getting mad excited about this player as well, like it's like a game-changing signing.
I do recall something, but I can't remember who.
I think it's been like poo-pooed now. Who do you think that player was? Who is this player who, in the eyes of like Arsenal,
No, I do
analysts,
recall.
etc.
Yeah, I do.
Can you recall?
Who was it now?
Well,
I
exactly.
recall seeing it, but I can't remember the
They
player
play in the
was.
Premier League. They play for another top 6 club.
I can't remember who it was. I do recall.
They play for Liverpool.
Oh yeah, Nunes. People, yeah, I do remember that.
Now, as I understand it, it's bollocks. And I've just seen Liam there confirm that it is nonsense.
It's gonna be nonsense.
I just thought that was really. I thought it was so bizarre. I thought that the initial rumor was like, what? That's really weird. But then what I thought was even weirder was the response to that. Now, if anyone here in the chat thinks that would be a great signing for Arsenal, you can convince me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah,
but I think that would be really weird.
It's an odd one because they need a striker, but I don't know why.
Well, here's the thing, Gasky. Here's the thing. He apparently wouldn't be playing at striker. According to these people, he'd be playing on the left. So
where does Martinelli play?
So it'd be well, I suppose he wouldn't be playing every game.
Wasn't he the best left winger in the league last season?
Season before.
No,
and he wasn't anyway, because Jack Grealish was better than him that year. I'm not having this Martinelli shit.
No, that's what I mean. Like, they've got Saka, Martinelli. They've got 2 fantastic wingers. You need a striker central. And I don't know.
I mean, I looked at that and I was well annoyed when like this morning it was like all like the links were poo-pooed. I was like, oh, that'd be so funny. Can you imagine like they need like someone to score more goals in those elite moments, and they signed Darwin Nunez, who I like as a player, by the way. But I don't look at that as a scary signing for Arsenal. I just thought, thought it was weird. But yes, I just thought that was funny just to talk about strikers. I wanted to bring that up. Gasky's dog is popping off in the background.
Apologies for the dog.
Telling him to smash a like on the video, yeah. So that's Haaland, that's Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan we've touched on, signings, etc. Was there anything else there's in particular that you've gathered from like City's game so far, Gasky? Anything in particular that's like impressed you or confused you, or is it still too early to tell?
Just bloody good, aren't they? Just bloody good. It's difficult. It's difficult to even take away any negatives from it. Really, I mean, the error for the Ipswich goal, but they happen. They happen in football. So, and yeah, it's just difficult.
You can't. I
just think exactly. So they're gonna slip up. I think Kanji's a great player, but he is liable to an error. So is most players. So it's but I think it's gonna be hard to stop them this season. Again.
I hope so. I hope so. Because I think City have strengthened personally from last season.
Yeah.
I do think Arsenal have strengthened as well, but the main area they seem to have strengthened is like their defense.
That's what I mean. Like they've prioritized and strengthened where I don't think they should have. You've got a very good defense there. They have the best defensive record in the league, didn't they, last season? I think.
In terms of like conceding goals, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think the one thing that they lacked was the other end of the pitch, if anything.
In the moments.
So yeah, in the moments when you need a striker, and that's where they should have prioritized. But they've got another defender in, which is fair enough. But I think they do need that other striker because Havertz has been better, but can you rely on 20 to 30 goals? I don't think so.
Yeah, it will be interesting. So again, they have strengthened. Marino could be a very good player. I've been told he is a good player. Calafiori, again, he looked good in the Euros. I still think that, I know they were linked to Nico Williams. That's apparently dead in the water. That would be the signing to make me terrified, I think. Yeah. But as it stands, given the fact that City have, in my opinion, both sides have strengthened, but I think the gap between what City were last season and what they will be this season, in my opinion, has gotten bigger. So I don't think Arsenal closed that initial gap. Never mind this further gap.
Nothing. Arsenal have gone up, but City have gone up more. Because
it's not just about. It's not just as simple as swapping out Alvarez for Savio, because Alvarez. It's not just Alvarez. It's midfield Alvarez. And already we've seen Savio. So that's a net negative to the side. Whereas Savio, clearly, based on these 2 games, is a massive net positive out on that right wing. A side of the pitch last season, Gasky, where City didn't know existed because we apparently couldn't attack down it because our right wingers were Kyle Walker, Bernardo Silva, who's now just a central player, clearly. Foden sometimes had good games there, but even he's not a wide player. And then Doku, who it seems is much better suited to the left. So now we've added in that player and Bob coming back in after his injury as well. We're going to have De Bruyne for all of this season rather than only half of it. Based on how Haaland started the season, he's not going to be having an underperforming year. We have Gundogan now, whereas last season we didn't. Stones hopefully won't be as injured much. Grealish hopefully won't be as injured as much. I know there are no guarantees in football, obviously, and obviously City could.
Yeah, you have to go on. You have to go on what you've got. You've got to go on.
Yeah, based on what's most likely to happen, it's got to be City winning, hasn't it?
Title pending. Yeah. It's difficult to go against it, really, isn't it? So,
title pending. There we go. Lovely stuff. We are now going to move on to some. Unless there's anything else you want to say about City, Gasky, we're now going to move on to some viewer questions. So get your comments in the chat as well, guys. Members are guaranteed to have their questions read out. But if there's a particularly good one from someone who isn't a member, we can certainly fit that in as well. Let me just see if I can bring some up. So this is from Oren, who asks, if you were to fight any footballer in a WWE match, who would it be?
Didn't we have this one last week?
No, he asked, what would your stipulation be, I think, last week. So now he wants to know specifically who would it be, I guess.
Actual footballer. Oh. Do you go with someone you think you can beat, or do you go with someone that you really, really, really want to have a WWE fight with?
Well, actually, no. Let's change it to UFC because my point last week was WWE's choreographed. So let's make it UFC, MMA style. So someone you're going to get properly into. Obviously, they're going to be able to fight back.
Who do I want to beat the living shit out of?
You can't say me. It's got to be a footballer. Who, Gasky? Who?
Oh, Richarlison. It has to be. Can't stand the guy.
But remember, he'll be hitting you as well. So you've got to be able to think you can take him on.
And? Can't hit the net, can he? Simple as that.
Reasonable. No, reasonable. Now, see, I would love to have Højbjerg in the octagon, but I know for a fact he twat me. So,
let's be fair. Any of them will.
Yeah, unless it's like, I don't know, like an ex-footballer who's like, nah, pass. Even then, they twat me as well. So,
did you say passed away?
No, but no.
Passed it.
Passed it.
Passed it. I was like, you will get your bit of shit beaten out with that. No, yeah. If current, it'd have to be like, I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It'd have to be a winger of some kind, like a Doku.
What? Someone that you can beat up? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a frail lad.
Frail winger.
I don't even know. Someone who goes down easily, I guess. I don't know.
What was that Italian guy called? Who was like 5'1"? What was his name?
Oh my God!
Went to the MLS. Giovinco.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, beat him up.
Yeah,
he was tiny.
You
crush him in between my fingers.
Yeah, exactly. You kick him and he flies.
Yeah, definitely.
That question is inappropriate, so I don't want to be asking that. Right, we do have a lot of questions here, but they're all inappropriate, guys. So do better with your questions next time. Are there any members in the chat who would like to submit a question now? Because again, we've got some questions here, but they're inappropriate, and I don't want to ask them on stream.
And I don't want to answer them,
to be honest. And Gasky doesn't want to answer them either. Just whilst I'm waiting for those, I think City going to sign Rodrigo in Jan, who will play as the left winger and backup for Haaland. I would highly doubt that Real Madrid would be letting go of Rodrigo halfway through a season, to be honest. I can't lie. No, yeah, that was I wasn't referring to a question in the chat, but this is a good question to be fair from her, but yeah, who's a long-term viewer of the channel. Would Gasky take back post merchant Raheem Sterling United? We even talk about the Sterling to United links. No,
it's bollocks. Guarantee it's bollocks. You can't tell me that you're having a brand new management system in place and you've signed I can't remember how many players it is, but 4 or 5 players with a average age of 23, and your solution is to go and buy Sterling and just go back to last season and the seasons before, makes zero sense. So I'm not believing a word of it. And apparently they've already agreed something with Juventus with an obligation to buy for Sancho. So that's that.
Oh. If it did happen, would you be happy?
No. It just defies the point.
But what about him as a footballer, though?
Again, I can't see where he would benefit us.
Would he push Rashford at all?
The team trying to go? Yeah, anyone will push Rashford in the current state. So yeah, he would. But is it? He'll come in. You might have a couple of good games. People will be happy with it. Then he'll go and throw the toys at the pram when he's not starting every game, like he's done at Chelsea, and then it just back to square one.
Back to square one.
So I just don't see the point.
Indeed. No, that's absolutely reasonable and absolutely fair enough. Well, with that being said, Gasky, I think we're going to wrap up here. I think this has been another really successful NobCast. We'll be back. This should have taken place yesterday, but I was one day behind due to going to a wedding, etc. Indeed.
Blame the bank holiday.
Exactly. So we'll be back next week on the Tuesday, probably in the evening again, Gasky, do you think?
It shall be evenings until 3 more weeks in the evenings, and then it'll be around lunchtimes, I assume.
There we go. Wonderful stuff. One more like, guys, and we'll get to the target I set earlier. There we go. We've just hit it there. Wonderful stuff. We've got to 75 likes, which is fantastic. If you're watching the replay, please make sure to leave a like on the video. And until that next time, guys, I have been... Oh, sorry. Liam's got a question, and he's a He's a member, so we'll answer it. Question for Gasky. Can you give a preview of your reaction for when Federico Chiesa scores the winner at the dump?
Him on the bench?
Coming off the bench and scoring a winner, yeah.
No, he won't do that.
Is he even going to see the pitch?
You guys will cripple him.
The battle of the new signings.
Through him.
There you go. Bullish there. So if Chiesa does dunk on your head, are you going to apologise to Liam Byrne?
I will apologise and say he's better than me. Yes.
I didn't say you have to say he's better than you. You added that, but okay, there you go.
I have to be fair.
There you go. Right. So if he does start Liam Byrne, Gasky is going to say he is better than you. Sorry, you're better than him.
It has to be a dunk. You can't start and score in the second minute. That doesn't count.
It's got to be like the winning goal.
It has to, if it's like a back-to-forward game and he goes in and scores the winner in like the 86th minute.
Right.
Then,
What if he gets the winning assist or the winning move in a game?
Well done. He hasn't scored the winner, has he?
Right, so that won't count.
No.
Okay.
Scored the winner.
No, it's good. No, as long as
I know. To do it like Ahmad did it last season.
As long as I know the rules of engagement, that's all that matters. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to leave a like of the video, subscribe if you are new, pop your notification bell on so you're also updated. Also, lads, I'm about to go live now on Twitch. We're going to play some Overwatch for a little bit. So go and join me there. So we're going to play Overwatch. I've been NobBins.
I've been Gasky.
I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. I need to wait for the end button to go through. There we go. Bye.